Hello everyone, my name's David Edgar, I'm the host of Heart and Hand the Rangers podcast, and I'm joining you tonight after Rangers drew 1-1 with Dundee United at Tannadice in our opening fixture of the season, and it's a case of the future starts slow for Derek McInnes. It was a new season, but there were the same old issues as Rangers started the season, unfortunately, the way that they played too much of last season. Derek McInnes sprung a surprise with his team lineup. First of all, it was Ryan Adiri who was partnering Lawrence Shankland up front, and in the midfield it was Mo Diamande next to Cammy Devlin, which meant there was no starting place for Chermiti or Dan Neil in that side. And Rangers started okay. The match was fairly frenetic. A chance for Lawrence Shankland early, did well to get a flick shot away, the keeper saved. But after that, Rangers just didn't have quality. And again, you know, we've talked about it all summer, haven't we? We've talked about it on the website. It's a concern. We need bodies in to provide it. We know what we're going to get from the likes of Gassama, and it's not enough. And he proved it again tonight. Another disappointing showing, and he was hooked at half-time. Apart from that early effort, the only really things we had were a shot from distance from Dujon Sterling, and then a header from Ryan Nadiri that the goalkeeper, I think, made a bit of a telesave of. Dundee United did grow into it a little bit more towards the end of the half, and Rangers gave away a terrible goal, the type of stupid goal that we conceded far too often last year, and that Derek McInnes will have to eradicate if he wants to do anything with Rangers, because we give ourselves a mountain to climb with these preventable goals. So it proved tonight. In this one, Fernandes, who did not have a good game, has to take a fair bit of blame for it. He comes charging out, loses the ball in a kind of fankle with Tello Asgard. And instead of jogging back, instead of running back, he jogs back, whereas his direct opponent sprints into the box, and that buys him the space that he'll need. The ball goes out wide to Romans, doesn't get close enough to stop the ball coming in, and then neither Godfrey or Sterling are in the right position, and as I mentioned before, that means that Fernandes' man is free. He got lucky with the finish because he's miscontrolled it and it's just ended up getting into the net, but there's at least 5 Rangers players who could affect that and don't, and those are the type of goals we gave away far too often last season. At half-time, the manager made 2 changes. He brought on Dan Neil and Yusuf Chermiti. And for the first 15 minutes of the second half, Rangers were a lot better. We were making chances, winning corners, forcing saves from the goalkeeper. And eventually we got rewarded with a really great goal from Tello Asgard. Lawrence Shankland does well, uses his body in the box to just ease the Dundee United player out of position. That means he miscues his header and it falls to Asgard, but he's still got a lot to do. A lovely flick, first of all, to take it away from the defender, and then he lets an absolute ripper of a half volley go, and it smashes into the far side for one each. But again, I've mentioned themes, things we talked about a lot last season. It happened again. Rangers did that thing where they've been chasing a goal, chasing, they get it, and they relax. They sort of exhale and go, right, okay, we've done it. And they fall out the game instead of capitalising on that momentum, and we didn't do it. Then after it, it was scrappy from there on, and I think both teams tired. You know, first league game of the season, you could see it, I thought, in the last 15 minutes, and then it was down to would a mistake lead to it. Both sides had a chance to win it that they should have done better with. Dundee United were, for some reason, left in acres of the space. Randall completely on his own on the left-hand side of the pitch for us. Don't know where Romans, don't know where the midfield was, but he was clean through on the goalkeeper, but he elected to try a wee chip shot, and Ivor Pandur, he came and saved it. Ivor Pandur I liked tonight. He didn't actually have a lot to do, but what he did have a lot to do was to read things and come off his line quickly, and he did it really well all night, judged it perfectly each time, so that was encouraging. We then had a chance when the ball got played up to Yusuf Chermiti, him and the defender sort of bump into each other, but he gets up first and he's in. Now, he tries a shot from wide that's never going in, where he had Shankland and Curtis inside him. He has to look up and play the pass. And again, decision making. How many times did we say that last season? So familiar failings. And look, I know in an ideal world, manager comes in, everything's sorted in a few weeks and we're good to go. It doesn't happen in reality all that often. And tonight, I don't think we played well enough to win the match. I do think we'll get better. I mean, I really do. I don't think that's going to be it. But we do need bodies in, there's no doubt about it. We're going with the same attackers we had last season, the same attackers who weren't good enough to win the title for us last season. And that's the reality. We need to get people who can create chances for Lawrence Shankland. There's not much point having a deadly striker if you're not getting the ball into him enough. And again, we've got to cut out stupid goals. You know, we absolutely have to. You'd hope that the players have made their debut now, settle down a bit. Obviously, now we go to Europe midweek and then we go to Ibrox next weekend. But they need to just calm down, and we need to bring in quality, because otherwise it'll just keep going on. Last season proved that. You know, if you've got guys who make the same mistakes all the time or don't have the quality in the areas that count, you're going to struggle. And Rangers have got to step up the pursuit of wide men who can alter matches for us. You'd like to think, as I say, the new players will get better, and with time, you know, the manager working with them, etc., we'll begin to see the differences. But it was a disappointing start. It's not the end of the world, but it's a disappointing start. There's no doubt about that. And we need to get better and get better quickly. Thanks very much for joining us. Loads more on this on our Patreon site, patreon.com/Heart and Hand. Thank you.